Speaking of Westbrook trades, another team that kind of surprisingly to me is in the market to trade for a third star is the Brooklyn Nets.
Mhm.
And they have been linked to Russell Westbrook, which doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But if they did want to pull that off, I think the trade would have to look something like Westbrook and Covington to the Nets for DeAndre Jordan, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Torian Prince, and then a first round pick. Couple of secondary ball handlers in Spencer Dinwiddie and Karis LeVert, all guys who can shoot. Like, man. And then from the net side, like, how do you feel about that from the net side, though?
They have the best starting five in basketball, like talent-wise. I just don't know if it fits together because they
Yeah.
would have a starting five of Kyrie, Westbrook, Kevin Durant, Covington, Jared Allen.
Jeez. My
That's
God.
amazing. Like how much talent is on that team. And then people forget they still have Joe Harris off the bench.
Yeah.
They still have Rodney Kukros, who completely
Yeah.
stopped Pascal Siakam. Like they have a
Yeah.
great
In the first
bench.
round.
Yeah, they don't have a great bench, but they have a decent bench.
Yeah. Like you said, by far best starting five in the NBA. Even honestly, like, that's even without assuming KD is 100% KD. Like, if KD is 80, 85% KD, that's still the best starting five in the NBA by far, I think.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a crazy trade.
Do you think Kevin
Okay,
Durant would accept that though? Do you think he'd put the beef behind them?
man. I have no idea.
I
Like,
don't think so.
it, there hasn't really been much beef lately. Like, they both say that
Mhm.
they moved on, but I'm not sure. I don't know if Kevin Durant would sign off on that. I really don't.
If I'm Kyrie Irving, and all I know about Kyrie Irving is when this trade happens for the next whole season,
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of the time in Brooklyn, everyone's going to be talking about the reuniting of Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
No one is going to be talking about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving hates not being in the news. He loves being in the media. Like he's always in the media for
as much as he
some.
says he doesn't, he
Yeah,
loves it. Yeah,
he's been in the media for the like for being injured compared to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a better player, won championships, better in the all-time rankings,
yeah,
and we haven't heard of him in the media since he's been injured at all.
yeah.
Kyrie Irving has been consistently in the media. So yeah,
So maybe it's Kyrie who doesn't sign off on this, and not
Kyrie
not
Irving
KD.
vetoes this. Yeah, Kyrie
Yeah,
Irving vetoes this trade in my opinion.
yeah. So if it's not Westbrook, who's another star they can get?
Yeah, this has been in the rumors. I think Kyrie wants this trade to happen, and that's just DeMar DeRozan straight up for Karis LeVert and a pick.
Man, so I instantly accept that if I'm the Spurs. Instantly. I love DeMar DeRozan. I have his jersey as a Raptors fan, but he's on the last year of his deal, making 30 million. You saw how far you can go with him as your best player for the
Yeah,
last couple of years, and you get 3 years of Karis LeVert at 16 million, who is not DeRozan's better than him, but I mean he's Karis LeVert's pretty good. We saw that. We saw him carry the Nets to being swept in the first round against the
yeah,
Raptors, but
yeah.
he put on a pretty good show in the first round. And I think everyone's opinion around him kind of went up a level around the league. And then from the Nets perspective, while DeRozan is not like a good shooter, obviously as we know, I think you could do some crazy offensive stuff with that team, and then you could have two of DeRozan, Kyrie, and KD on the floor at all times, which I think would be kind of insane. And all three of those guys can make a shot, get a shot, and make a shot at the end of the game. And I'm not going to say all three play defense, but that would be one of the craziest offensive teams in the league.
We know Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving need a lot of rest during the season, especially in a shortened season like this. They need a
That's a
lot of
good point.
rest.
That's a good point.
So when they're resting, you have Spencer Dinwiddie, DeMar DeRozan, Torian Prince, Joe Harris, Jared Allen, DeAndre Jordan as like a six-man rotation. And that's a good six-man rotation,
Yeah,
man. Like that could win you games. In my opinion, that rotation, like on any given night, could beat any given team. Because DeMar DeRozan, at the end of the day, he's still a 20-6 player.
yeah.
He's not the 25-point scorer he was back in the day, but he's still 26-6.
He's probably the
And
best
you,
playmaker on that team too.
I'll give it to Spencer Dinwiddie. He's pretty good too. But having Spencer Dinwiddie and DeMar DeRozan to step up when those two take rest, amazing. So for a regular
Yeah.
season, you
Mhm.
instant accept this.
Yeah.
But it's about the playoffs. Do you want to add someone who can't shoot threes on your team in the playoffs?
I can see it working in the playoffs, and
Oh, I don't know about that.
if like hey, if he's the only guy on your team who can't shoot threes, like we saw the Spurs play him at the 4 this year in the
Mhm.
playoffs, surrounded by shooters. I mean, and Jakob Poeltl, and
Yeah.
he played well. And the Spurs, I mean, sorry, not in the playoffs. I mean, in the bubble. And the Spurs actually looked decent like that. So if you could have him pretty much playing the 4 and then surrounded by all shooters, I guess the thing is you would have a non-shooting center on the floor at the same time. So the spacing probably would definitely suffer in the playoffs. But with a coach like Steve Nash, obviously great offensive mind, and
Yeah.
then adding Mike D'Antoni, I think it'd be so cool to see some of the offensive stuff they were able to do with that team.
Man, I would rather just get Jrue Holiday. I think you get him for the same exact deal with Karis Lever and the 19th pick. I think you get him for the same exact deal, and I think he's so much better with 2 stars. He's obviously not going to be as good when they
Yeah,
rest because DeMar DeRozan is used to being a first option.
yeah.
Jrue Holiday sucks as a first option, but I'd rather just get Jrue Holiday, and I think
Jrue
Jrue
Holiday
Holiday,
fits better,
and
but
I think he plays better defense on big players. Like people are going to say, yeah, we're getting DeMar DeRozan to play the 4, sometimes guard forwards, because we have Spencer
yeah,
Dinwiddie who's going to come in at the 2. But man, I'd honestly rather have Jrue Holiday guarding power forwards than DeMar DeRozan. Like he sucks defensively. So yeah, I'm if Jrue Holiday gets moved, if Victor Oladipo gets moved, Zach LaVine trade gets vetoed, and the bubble say no. If like all these people aren't available, then
yeah.
yeah, throw DeMar DeRozan a chance. But until DeMar DeRozan, yeah, he's just not going to be on any good teams, man. He can't shoot threes.
I think there's a chance he gets traded this offseason. I don't know if it's going to be to the Nets. I when that rumor came up that the Nets and even the Bucks were interested in DeRozan, I was kind of surprised. And he's a better player than I think he has a reputation for. He used to be probably overrated, but he's probably a little bit underrated now. He, like you said, he's still 26, really good playmaker, plays no defense, doesn't shoot threes. But if you're a team that is kind of irrelevant or is looking to make the playoffs for the first time in a while, like maybe the Hawks,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, on a team like the Hawks, I would like him because John Collins could play the 5 and he could shoot threes.
Yeah,
And Trae Young's such a good 3-point shooter that he could give you more space, like beyond the
yeah,
3-point line. But it's tough, man. When you can't shoot threes and you're a starter, DeMar DeRozan just doesn't fit today's NBA. And when he accepts a bench role, he will be the best 6 man in the league.
yeah.
And
Oh,
he
by
will be
far.
super valuable.
It has his career got to that point yet though? Does he need to accept the bench role?
No, he has too much of an ego, and I think at least, and he's not going to accept that bench role. But
Yeah,
the second he does, he's amazing. But until he doesn't, like he becomes the best bench player of all time
yeah.
to like what he is right now, an average starter who's not a championship level starter.
Thanks for watching. Listen to the Stretch the Floor podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram.